Hey, it's me, Logana the Banana. Do you know about Ulysses S. Grant?
Yes.
Oh, hi there. Should we teach him about Ulysses S. Grant?
Indubitably.
Okay, so, Ulysses S. Grant was born on April 27th, 1822, at Point Pleasant, Ohio. He was first of 6 children, and from a young age, he was skilled at horseback riding and writing.
In 1843, he joined the army, bottom of his class, and he fought in the Mexican-American War as a captain. He earned 2 medals for merit.
In 1854, he resigned after being stationed in a remote area far away from his family. He returned to St. Louis and lived there for 6 years. He worked many jobs such as leatherworking, blacksmith, and even some farming. Once the Civil War kicked off, he quickly joined the 21st Illinois Volunteer Division. He drilled them well and was promoted to Brigadier General.
This is when things
Wow,
started to
that's
escalate
escalating
in his life.
He then moved to South Missouri and fought in the Battle of Frederickstown. Coming out victorious, he moved east and led armies in Kentucky and Tennessee. He worked his way down the Tennessee River and captured Fort Henry. At the Battle of Fort Donelson, the defeated Confederate army, who then surrendered with conditions. Grant said that he'll only accept unconditional surrender. This earned him the nickname Unconditional Surrender Grant.
He continued south to take the town of Corinth. As he was continuing down, about 44,000 Confederate troops engaged in the Battle of Shiloh. Grant was unprepared for this attack and took heavy casualties. I mean, a lot of casualties. It was the highest death toll of any American day in history up until that point. And here is Bunker Hill, this tiny one right here.
Many people up north saw the casualties and wanted Grant's man out of here. Grant eventually won the battle, and Lincoln personally stated that I can't spare this man. He fights. Lincoln refused to remove him from power, and he went on to fight another day.
He later went on a campaign to secure the town of Vicksburg and to link New Orleans with the rest of the Union, but he couldn't because he needed to secure the Mississippi River, so he began to think.
Just go around. Just go around. Just go around. Just
go around.
Go around. He crossed the river, then he marched his army down the river, sticking to the west bank, and crossed the river at Fort Gibson. He marched back up the river to Vicksburg, this time on the east bank of the river.
He swiftly surrendered the fort, and a 46-day-long siege ensued in Vicksburg, but the Mississippi River was already in full control of the Union.
And, that's not good for the Confederates. That's, really, really bad. They can't use the river for supply anymore. The Confederacy's into having river control is insanely good. You just kind of win.
Anyway, the siege finally ended with the fort's surrender, and it was Independence Day. Woo-hoo! He was then sent to the town of Chattanooga, where a stalemate was. He broke the stalemate and sent the Confederates packing.
Oh, man.
Abraham Lincoln was so pleased that he got named Commander-in-Chief.
He was then ordered to take the Confederate capital of Richmond. This was one of the bloodiest campaigns yet. He fought in the Battle of the Wilderness and took 17,000 casualties. Then in the Battle of Spotsylvania, he took 18,000 casualties. Then the Battle of Cold Harbor, he took 12,000 casualties and lost the battle.
The city of Petersburg was a vital city for the Confederates. It had most of the supply lines leading to Richmond and was a hub for communications. Grant slipped away to Petersburg, and so did his army, where they laid a siege for 292 days.
The Battle of Appomattox Courthouse soon ensued. Union troops heavily outnumbered the Confederates.
if you will.
Instead of risking the lives of his men, General Lee decided to flee, but he was trapped by Grant, who knew he would try and attempt this. Lee met at the courthouse with Grant, and this is where he formally surrendered. Reportedly, when Lee left, Grant ordered his men to stop cheering. After all, he was a fellow American.
With that, he had effectively won the war. Lee's surrender removed nearly the entirety of the Confederate army. Even though the war wasn't officially over, Grant won.
Once the war was officially over, the Union returned to nearly how it was. Grant was sent to garrison the South so no other uprisings would occur, and Confederates were still able to leave freely. Even Lee moved to Lexington and became a president of a college.
Grant later became president and ran against Andrew Johnson, who was president after Lincoln got a cold case of bullet in head. During his presidency, he made sure to settle the turmoil between the North and South. He passed laws to make sure the South would be treated fairly, while still making sure that they are not able to effectively rebel again. He also signed the 15th Amendment.
After his presidency, he partnered with a few financial firms, most of which went bankrupt.
He died on July 23, 1885, at Mount McGregor of throat cancer. His heavy alcohol and smoking was likely to blame.
He had a major impact. He effectively won us the Civil War and permanently changed the Constitution.
Alright, I hope you know about Ulysses S. Grant now. Wait a second. This doesn't feel right.
Hey, wait, wasn't this supposed to be a podcast?